bars in a rave. Man, I go hard like Santan.
What's Morata going to do against Man City?
Yeah. It's just
slow.
changes the dynamic.
Come up to him, you get up to him, he's going to take half an hour, probably fall on the floor. By then, you've already lost the ball.
Yeah.
He's not going to work hard to get it back. You're down to 10 men, basically.
Hello, welcome to another Touchdown Practice podcast. My name is Luiz. Hello, Anton.
You're right, mate.
Yeah, I'm fine, thank you.
That was nicely slowed down after the third take, Lou.
Sean.
Third take, Lou.
Ellis.
Yo!
Fahi and Seb.
Howdy.
Yo.
How you guys doing?
We good?
We good, baby.
New surroundings?
It's nice.
Yeah?
Intimate.
Cozy.
Yeah.
Alright guys, before we start, make sure to use the hashtag TouchdownFracas. I just want to give a big thank you to all of our Patreon members actually. Because without you, the visual edits wouldn't be possible at the moment. So if you want to become a Touchdown Fracas member, please go to www.touchdownfracas.co.uk where you can find a Patreon link, or you can go directly to the Patreon page, which is patreon.com/touchdownfracas. Be sure to subscribe to us on our YouTube channel as well, where you can find all our YouTube content and also the podcast on iTunes. So make sure to give us a subscription and a review on there. So guys, let's start with the Man City Chelsea game yesterday. We'll go into the game first because obviously there's a few things we want to discuss about the events in the game and what's happened afterwards as well. How did you see? How did you guys envisage that game going beforehand? And was that the result that you expected from?
No. No.
So what, you thought Chelsea would win?
I
You
thought
thought Man
City
City
would
would
dust them.
Mm.
I thought City would dust them. They're a much better side. But
I think it's a bit naive to think that it was going to be a dusting.
It's not naive.
I think it was.
because
No, it
Jordan's got
wasn't.
moved to. But
No, I think it was.
come on,
I don't
You was
get
getting
moved to
moved
where?
to you was getting moved to for the
Get
first 20,
moved.
though.
We got moved to.
For the first 20.
We was
fam.
under pressure for the first half, I'd say, even for the first half.
So that means everyone.
Yeah, but there wasn't any clear-cut chances.
No, there was.
There wasn't. Just one.
The thing I was
From
disappointed
Mahrez, the
with Man
cutback.
City was that I expected the game to go a little bit differently. So I thought Chelsea would be quite hard to break down initially. But
Chelsea aren't hard.
This isn't 2000.
no, see, but
2010.
I think if you look at the way Chelsea set up, it was to deliberately set up quite solid, so Man City didn't have much space. Like if you look, it was really really tight in there. That I felt like Man City weren't finding much space, but it went the opposite. Like Man City were actually getting quite good opportunities in the first half, but then second half they just couldn't find any space, and Chelsea were the most threatening side I thought in the second half, which is how I thought it would go a lot differently. I thought Chelsea would be a lot hard to break down in the first half, but Man City would eventually break them down in the second half. But yeah, it went the reverse to me. I thought Man City were terrible in the second half. Terrible.
Yeah, and I was thinking 60th minute, why take off Leroy Sané? You need a goal. Why are you taking off your best attacker?
It was the 53rd minute.
That's even worse, yeah.
And for a bang average player as well, if we're being honest with ourselves.
Who are we talking about? Oh, Jesus. Listen, I've said a number of times on this pod, the drop down from Aguero to Jesus is monumental. It's too big for a club of Man City size. Because what you lose with not having Aguero in the side is too much. They don't have that cutting edge with Jesus in the side.
It's true. It's very true.
Like none of the other top teams have that drop off in quality. I don't think.
Do you feel as if Jesus hasn't progressed as well as
He's
Pep
just
expected?
not that good. He's just not special.
But do you think Pep thought he was something different?
I think a lot of people thought he was something different, but there's nothing special about him at all. He's got decent movement around the box. He's an okay footballer, and that's about it. Yeah. There's no way he should have been starting and listen, this is going to shock everyone when I say it, but there's no way he should have been starting ahead of Firmino for Brazil.
Whoa!
Wow.
Straight.
Wow.
I don't rate him at all, and I haven't rated him.
It's best of the bad bunch though, isn't he?
To be honest, he started off, but you expect him to progress though, because how he started off, he's gone backwards in it. So
I don't think he has.
I think he definitely has.
Player.
He definitely has.
Same.
He definitely has. He found a lot of space in between both centre halves when he
He
first
still
started.
does.
No, he doesn't. He doesn't.
He got decent
doesn't.
movement in the box, and he works hard, and that's literally it. Like, have you ever seen him score a good goal?
No.
Good finishes, one-touch finishes, headers.
Yeah, he must have the
One-touch
most one-touch
finishes.
finishes in the bloody league.
Yeah, but it's a
They're
skill,
all
bro.
from 2 yards out, so you can't exactly take two touches.
I'm not
necessarily.
having him. I never have been, and I
Well, that's
He
Dan's
moves.
boy,
He
innit?
moves a bit like Chicharito, innit? But
Yeah, I think
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
it.
it's a
It's
bit like that.
yeah.
Brazilian Hernandez, but even still, I think Hernandez.
No, the same player.
Fernandes ain't a better footballer than
No,
No,
it's
he
not.
isn't.
Fernandes is horrible. But
So, what did we think? Sean, I know you're dying to talk about Chelsea and how tactical execution was perfect and whatnot. And so, go on. What's your thoughts on how Sarri set up?
I just thought that it was something that we needed to change anyway. We needed something different. The midweek was very frustrating. Losing to Wolves like that, it's just he's persisted with changing and rotating the two centre forwards where he could have easily just played someone like Pedro. I told Dan in the midweek, I said, listen, we need to just try playing Pedro up front.
Wait, did
or
Hazard
Hazard.
play Pedro as a striker?
He started off with Hazard kind of free roaming up front at first, but then it kind of like rotated where Pedro would then make the press down in the centre. Hazard was kind of nullified down the centre, but even though we won quite a few couple headers every time we kind of knocked it up to him, we kind of worked well with it. But
Yeah,
it was
I
just,
saw that a couple of times. That didn't make sense.
Yeah, it was
Hazard winning headers.
but it was the fact that we were persistent in trying to play in dangerous areas. We was not gonna just punt the ball up the pitch and
Saw quite a lot. Of
try
that
and win down
sometimes.
things. What punt
Yeah.
up the pitch?
Yeah, there was a long period of that game where you couldn't.
There
sustain
was a
any
lot of
possession
times
whatsoever.
where no matter what, well, in the first half it showed because when they went off to a cut of when Man City had that chance, Kepa passed it out within like just outside the area to Rudiger, and we got into a bit of problems just straight after that, and they had another chance where it just cut back as they were on the edge of the box. But
Talk about Sterling's chances.
I think there was I can't remember who took the chance, but it broke away straight away to the cameras came off of a replay.
Yeah.
But we kept trying to play out from the back, and it just got to a point where I felt so sorry for Kante because you can't ask for him to do anything else in them positions because he's being played in against City anyway.
Torreira
We were getting out of. It's not so much that he weren't able to. There weren't many options for him. It's not like Chelsea play very congested. Very, very like individualism has to be put on the midfielders
Hazard FC,
to turn out. No, it's not really Hazard FC because I was very critical of Kovacic in the midweek game where not Kovacic in the midweek game. Who was it playing in the midweek game?
ROC.
Well, yeah, all right, cool. Yeah, but when Kovacic doesn't seem to turn up and when he doesn't put in a shift, it's when we actually don't play well. And he put in a good shift yesterday.
When people, and yeah, I think we know what I mean. When people say it doesn't put in a shift, what do you mean?
No, it's just that when you show for the ball, there has to be some level of intensity to the game where you have to run around, you have to show for the ball, especially in that flat midfield three where we seem to be quite stretched in that midfield three. We need to be tighter together. Jorginho played poor yesterday. Kante,
Him on the pitch.
he wasn't really in the game because this is what I'm saying. We tried to play out quite wide numerous times. We were playing to our fullbacks, getting 1-2, and we actually played out quite nice. But once it got to Kante, it would then break down where you need just a little bit of individualism to be able to turn out and switch the play, and then we're open in space because Man City were pressing quite high. We were taking a lot of risks by trying to play out, and that's what I respect about Chelsea yesterday. We persisted with it. First half, they never took their chances. They were all over us, to be honest, in the first half. And then second half, we started to come out. We looked a bit more on top because that goal late into the second half kind of gave us the confidence.
Yeah.
The next 2 minutes after that, we then started to look good just before the break.
You did, yeah. So what do you think changed after the break then? Because did you see anything noticeably tactically?
I think it's just the fact
was there
that
just a change in mentality?
I think it was the fact that it was the different like tactics of just having the three small forwards trying to involve as much people as possible into trying to progress the play, trying to play football, and it was a battle of the midgets yesterday. It was like there were so many small players on the pitch. There weren't attempt to really try and whip balls in or trying to get out wide to whipping crosses. It was literally loads of ground football trying to play, and it was a good game to watch yesterday. We played well second half.
So what do you guys think? Because Chelsea reverted to this kind of false nine thing for Hazard or Pedro, whoever was playing, do you think that's the end for Morata now?
Yeah, he couldn't get in the squad.
Finished?
Yeah.
No,
not at all.
I think it's situational.
Yes.
So you think Morata would have played on a
Depending on
different
what
game?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What type of game will Morata play?
Probably. I don't know. Pick
No,
one of the
no,
other
but like
15.
because at Napoli, we know he played up front with what's his name?
Callahan.
No, the Belgian boy.
Yeah, Martin.
Mertens.
Mertens, yeah.
Mertens, who is a similar player to like Pedro.
Yeah, but
So-
he's had. Look, we're in December. He's had Pedro since August.
Yep.
And he's
Yeah,
had
it's just he's been
Morata
reluctant.
won.
Yeah, he's been reluctant to play him. It's just I think he was kind of forced, knowing that the price tags of these players and the expectancy of both the players. He's probably thinking he started off with Morata quite hard, brought in Giroud after he weren't firing. Giroud hasn't really contributed much. Maybe making us play a little bit better, but hasn't scored the goals. We need the goals.
The way I would assess that is that the only way to get at Man City really is that when you do get the ball in transition is to attack them quickly. And they play out from the back. So you need someone that's fast and you need someone that's going to work hard. So
we've done that quite well yesterday.
So that front
so you
three,
think it was an entirely a tactical ploy?
Yeah.
It was just poor from City as well.
What's Morata going to do against Man City?
Yeah. It just changes the dynamic.
Come up to him, you get up to him, he's going to take half an hour, probably fall on the floor. By then, you've already lost the ball.
Yeah.
He's not going to work hard to get it back. You're down to 10 men basically.
I think we was very lucky to not be facing Aguero yesterday. I think Aguero would have took a lot of chances yesterday. Would have found a space a lot better than having Sterling and Mahrez and them lot rotating up front, trying to take central roles. We were quite fortunate to play against a City side like that without Aguero. So it was just a good game to watch though. Bearing in mind,
I was listening on the radio, and the commentators were throwing heaps of praise at Man City at half-time and in the first half.
Yeah, first half they were good. First half they were good. It's just that they lacked that
could it not
finishing.
be?
They were a bit toothless.
Yes,
Yeah.
Could it not be? And if it was any normal side, I think we would say, look, you know, like a team scores at half-time and it changes the game, innit, and it knocks the stuffing out of them, is the cliche.
Yeah.
Why can't we just attribute that to that?
Because I don't really believe in that argument. I feel like something
From
happens
Man
in a
City
game
anyway.
and Man City offered next to nothing. And we saw actually a clear change in what Man City were doing in the second half. They went a lot more direct.
Because
we saw
they're now
deep
chasing
hanging.
the game, though.
Maybe so, but I didn't.
Normally
really,
you see the patience in Man City though. Normally they'll try to just play themselves back into
But
the
this is
game.
what I'm thinking. If they'd been playing and they were struggling,
They weren't really struggling.
They weren't.
struggling to score then, because they played well.
They
They
weren't
hadn't
struggling to
scored.
make-
They then give away a goal right on half
Yeah.
time. The timing of goals, it does change football matches.
Yeah, it does.
I don't think anyone can dispute that, and you can't dispute the effect that it can have on a mentality. So when they come out for the second half, things may be a little bit more rushed. Remember, they're still football players and human beings.
Yeah, yeah.
I think
they're not
it
robots.
gave us a big confidence because
Yeah,
I
and
think
there's
that's
that
what
as
it
well.
was. Is because
so if they have a
yeah.
low and you have a high, then there's obviously going to be a difference in what happens in the second period.
yeah, it definitely gave us a bit of
Well,
confidence.
then that's poor from Man City, I feel, because
Yeah,
for
of
45
course.
minutes they weren't at the races, and what I saw something different I haven't seen from a City side in a long time.
Well, this is
and
what I was
that's-
gonna say.
and that is that I saw Walker drifting long balls into the box from 50 yards out.
Yeah, so
And-
that's what I'm saying. So obviously there's something has happened, and we can assume it's the goal and when the goal went in and now chasing is what's caused this. I think people are going massively overboard. I was getting messages on WhatsApp. I thought you said this Man City team's the best team you've seen in the Premier.
Yeah.
Like what? They're not, because they lost one game. Like.
Well, let's talk about City then, because I think in recent weeks we've seen a bit of since the international break, we've seen a bit of a dip. So Bournemouth, I think the first 45 minutes they were quite poor and they managed to get the win. Bournemouth were quite good in that game actually. Watford, they weren't great again.
Where was the Watford game?
At Watford, yeah.
Yeah.
So it's a tough place to go. But from what we've seen
They were
from City
dominating
so
them,
far, I'm just talking about in relation to what we've seen of City
I
so
know,
far.
but yeah.
And then yesterday,
Also without De Bruyne though.
Aguero not
but
being
they've
there
been
is
without
crucial.
KDB for the
Yeah, but
majority of the
Aguero-
season, no?
But then again,
Aguero.
sometimes you expect like your key players like De Bruyne or Aguero to always pop up with something
Yeah.
or always play the killer pass.
Yeah.
Whereas like someone like say like I don't know Bernardo, yeah, is having a bad game. You feel like someone. I think KDB's better than Bernardo, so he's able to maybe play that killer pass or
I
you
think
know,
they-
Aguero's
they lack the
able
He's
to
got the
get
game
to that.
changing stuff,
Yeah,
hasn't
and
he?
now, so look, David Silva's Man City's best player for me, then KDB,
Yeah.
then Sterling. No, I'm not including Aguero for purpose. Yeah, but what you have when you have Aguero and KDB is they both have an X factor in it. They're both standouts and they're both highlights. Like you can be playing shit, and Aguero out of nowhere is going to score
Goal.
twice.
Yeah.
No one knows what happened.
Yeah.
KDB can be playing shit. He plays a
Spike it.
pass. He takes out 6 people. You've got to tap in.
I think that's what they missed yesterday.
Right, so this is what I'm saying. The players that they're now left with, say, Mahrez does have that X factor, but I haven't really seen it
It
at
was
City.
poor yesterday.
So Sterling, Sane, even Silva, at both Silvers, they're facilitators rather than standout guys.
Yeah.
You see what I'm
Mahrez was
saying?
really shit.
So you don't have these standout guys, and you just have facilitators. At some point, there's going to be a
catch
drop,
up.
and yeah, something's going to happen. But it's one loss. It's fine. Like
Yeah,
It's
I mean
literally
they're
one loss.
not top anymore. Which is, I mean, considering Man City start, I think that says a lot about, speaks volumes of Liverpool as well, like how well they've started the season as well.
Well, I saw something today. Barcelona are top of.
Yeah, and they've lost like 3 games, right?
With 34 points.
Yeah.
And Arsenal are 5th in the Premier League with 34 points. Like, there's a lot of points being won by the teams at the top of the league.
Yeah, so you're saying no need
trying to
for
feel
alarm
sorry
bells
for
yet for Man City?
Are we trying to feel sorry for Arsenal?
Is that what I said?
I think Man City though, if we're just talking about Man City a little bit more, is I think if there's one position they need some extra quality is up front.
Who?
They can't continue.
Who and from where?
But
Who would you get?
It's a difficult one because you're not gonna take Aguero out of the side, are you? But then equally, Harold.
At some point, you do have to take Aguero out of the side.
Yeah,
You've
so
got 31, 32.
Exactly. So, who is that guy that maybe is 22, 23?
Why'd you have to be
this is
22,
what they thought
23?
Gabriel Jesus was, right? So he was the guy who's supposed to take the long-term strike and roll off of Aguero.
Never happened.
I'm not happy.
What about Martial as a striker?
About to say, I'll never say it, but if I'm City, I'll go put a bid in for Rashford.
Was you about to say?
For Rashford?
Go pick Rashford.
Well, we want quality above Gabriel Jesus. Not
I thought he was going to say Martial.
Rashford is comfortably better than
Yeah, he's better. Let's try.
Yeah, I don't know. In terms of, I'm not too well acquainted with, young strikers out there. But I know there's that guy in Italy. What's the name? What's his name?
the
Not Cardi. I'm talking about the younger guy.
Yeah, the one that scored like 15 goals already.
The Polish guy.
Jovic or whatever.
Oh,
I don't know.
Piszczek.
Piszczek.
Roma.
People got tricked by that brother the other day. Yeah.
But this guy looks like he's got a bit more about him.
I'm not buying it. I don't know who's out there.
Yeah, I don't know who's out there. I think either get an oldie that's retiring in about 2 years or something like that.
What's the point?
It doesn't need to be an oldie. What's wrong with getting someone 27, 28, 26?
They don't do
Just
that.
go.
But
They're Man City. They got money.
Play second fiddle to Aguero.
Listen, you pay that kind of money, someone's coming to sit down on the bench.
I'm sorry, but Man City aren't like United. They're not reactionary like that. Like when they buy someone, it's a long-term plan.
Yeah.
Do you get
Bring
what I'm
back
saying?
Dzeko,
So
innit, for us.
they're not going to buy a 28, 29-year-old like that. So if they buy a forward for Aguero, it's going to be someone up
That's
and
going to
coming.
give them the same service that Aguero gave him, essentially.
Yeah.
Because Aguero's been there, 7 years?
6-7 years now.
Yeah. But you're not gonna get anyone as close to like Aguero in terms of quality, are you? I don't think. You're gonna have to accept you're gonna take a step down, unless you're going for someone.
Yeah, but I refuse to believe that in the whole world there isn't
there is someone.
a striker with world class ability that's of a good age, other than Kylian Mbappe. I refuse to believe he's the only one.
Well, who do you think then?
Just because I don't know who that might be, I'm saying I don't know who it is, but I highly doubt that.
It's not like they have to fish around mediocre sides to find a standout player. They can go to premium sides and put out big money if they want to. They've got to a stage now where they're starting to progress into the Champions League stages deeper. They need to go out and spend big money. Come on, man. Let's be serious, man. Come on, bro. Let's be serious, bro.
Yeah, you don't want both of them out injured at the same time, innit? Then you're back with Gabriel Jesus. But maybe Man City have got someone in their academy. I mean, they spent how much? 100 million on their academy. They must have someone there. But let's move on. Sean, unless you've got any accolades that you want to give out from that Chelsea defence.
No,
How
in
did
terms of
Luiz play?
exactly what I was about to say before you cut. I thought you were going to forget about Chelsea, but from the midweek playing Christensen and thing, it was a shambles. But he kind of I think after last week's performance, he come off social media. I haven't seen him post anything or nothing. It's like as if he was determined to come out next game. In this, David Luiz.
So what you think? Not having social.
No, I think he kind of but I think he kind of he's to be honest, he's kind of been like a jokey kind of character around the team and stuff like that. And I think it's kind of he's getting to an age where he switches off sometimes. And I think he needs someone to just be on his case to say, right, listen, you're our starting centre half. You need to perform well in these big games and just perform well against everybody, because it doesn't matter what kind of shit team you're playing. It doesn't matter if you're playing a lower league side. You need to win games. You need to perform well. So David Luiz played really, really well yesterday.
I think generally Luiz does play well.
He does,
I think it's impossible to expect someone to play well.
Nah, he kind of moves very lazy. He gives a lot of space and a lot of time to players who are more active when he needs to just be on people. Against Tottenham, he was giving people 5, 6, 7 yard starts.
It was really
and it was poor. But yesterday, he was on it. He was running down, man. Even when he tried to make passes and it might not have come off, he was running down people, trying to make the challenge. Even if he had to break up the play and just give away the foul and recover, he was doing that well. So,
as you said though, he was defending against Gabby.
Yeah,
Jesus.
yeah, it's
And,
different.
You know, and I know Sterling gave him a few issues in the first half. They were getting into the penalty box quite a lot.
Alonso, I don't know what Alonso was playing at yesterday. He was bloody horrible.
He's on. Kante with a nice goal. You know, I mean, we were celebrating.
Hazard found a nice pass.
Torreira sent him a message, didn't it? Torreira said, "Look,
Over to you, Cam.
over to you, Fred.
You're still waiting for Fred, yeah. But yeah.
All right, let's move on to get to events that happened in the game.
When I spit bars in a rave, man, I go hard like Santan.